Like father, like son, there is much to learn about when it comes to the future of the Blackbeard pirate's crew and what the recent reveals regarding Rox and his own crew might show us about him. Imagine a pirate king built not of noble glory, but of unbridled chaos. We've witnessed a man whose ambition devoured the seas only to be stabbed in the back by monsters he attempted to command. Now, picture his son rising from the ashes of that betrayal, weaving a web of vengeance that spans generations. In the world of One Piece, there are few relationships we've actually seen that burn as fiercely as the father-son relationship between Rox and Blackbeard. Today, we're diving into how these two characters parallel each other, the brutal betrayal that shattered Rox's reign, and Blackbeard's calculated revenge and subsequent arrival to this world's summit. Let's sail into an analysis of the fragile loyalty in Blackbeard's own ranks. As of the story's most recent revelations in the manga, Oda has finally confirmed what fans have been theorizing for years. Blackbeard is the biological son of Rox D. Zebek, and that they share a secret family name, Davy, a name whose origins tied back to the legendary pirate Davy D. Jones. This connection is a mirror held up to some of One Piece's core themes: inheritance, betrayal, and the D-clan's eternal drive to upend the world. Rox, the original architect of this anarchy, and Blackbeard, who will supposedly surpass that, are echoes of the same storm that the D have always been known to cause. These parallels are Oda's way of showing us how trauma begets tyrants. Rox wasn't just content with piracy, he dreamed of kinghood the likes only Imu currently withholds. An unchallenged emperor ruling over Marijois. Blackbeard, scarred by that dream's violent end, which is still yet to come in the current story, chases a similar throne, but goes about it in a different way. The ghost that his father left behind keeps whispering to him, and it's a lineage where love is as rare as mercy, with ambition being the key heirloom being passed down. On the cursed island of God Valley, the crew of the Rox pirates met their end in a cataclysm that rewrote pirate history. Zebek, at the height of his power, led his crew into what should have been a slaughter. It was a raid on the Celestial Dragon's native hunting competition. This came at a price, as facing off against the likes of Garp and Roger in an unexpected alliance, Rox will seemingly demand that his crew stand with him. But as we know from the modern era of the story, they didn't. This betrayal didn't come as a shock, even to Zebek, we have to assume. It was he himself who treated his crew like disposable blades, who then reaped what he sowed. But for a young Blackbeard who was saved on that cursed day, it planted a seed of hatred. The incident at God Valley may have killed a pirate, but it also forged an avenger. Fast forward to what we know now, during the era of the worst generation. Blackbeard doesn't make a single sound about God Valley, he simply carves his revenge into the world, and as Rox's son, every step he's taken reeks of retribution against the betrayers who left him to get orphaned. It's almost a poetic journey, a son dismantling all of the empires that were built on his father's blood-stained bones. At Marineford, he managed to take down the so-called strongest man in the world, Whitebeard. The man was desecrated, his fruit stolen, and his powers paraded around as a mocking gesture of inheritance. Whitebeard, of course, was one of the key players in Zebek's crew, being one of the stronger ones among the strongest. If we are to believe that it was everyone that turned on Rox on that day, then in Blackbeard's eyes, he deserved this. The same can be said about Teach's crew overthrowing Ochoko's reign at Pirate Island, claiming the territory as his own. Blackbeard's fixation on ancient weapons and celestial dragons traces back to that erased island. His motivation is not purely chasing after the One Piece, he's avenging his father from the grave, vowing to make the betrayers and their descendants kneel, and to claim the throne that Zebek couldn't. His revenge is cold calculus, not blind rage or chaos. He proves the blood of the D runs thicker than pirate oaths. But what of Blackbeard's own crew, the so-called Titanic captains, with killers like Avalo Pizarro and Katarina Devon, mirror the Rox pirates in their savagery? They're a gallery of outcasts bound only by their own fear and greed. If history is to repeat itself, as it so often does in One Piece, this setup seems to be heading towards a similar conclusion. But surely Blackbeard can't meet the same exact fate as Rox, having toppled his father's betrayer. So where does his story branch off? First of all, just as Rox's crew turned on him when the tides shifted, Blackbeard's crew is a ticking time bomb. And with all the whispers of disagreement among the captains, Blackbeard's paranoia about the loyalty that the crew presents, as well as his own hoarding of powers like a dragon keeping gold, will they all finally try to turn on him at his weakest? Blackbeard, unlike his father, is more of a schemer. His revenge on the old crew suggests that he is going to be the one to strike first. He is the type of man to cull disloyalty before it festers. And imagine, if you will, a purge arc of sorts. Blackbeard testing his captains, devouring the weaker to forge an unbreakable unit. What Blackbeard wants is not to build that loyalty that he notices is gone, but rather to build a cage of mutual destruction. We are going to see Blackbeard strap himself to an allegorical nuclear bomb and tie up the rest of the crew with him. He cannot afford the same mistake that his father made, not now or ever. He is going to assure that if he goes down, everything else falls apart on top of him. And if Blackbeard were to betray his own crew, sacrificing them for ultimate power like Rox should have done but in reverse, it finishes the loop on all of their flaws, and the terror of the Davy lineage ends with them. The son, haunted by his generational betrayal, becomes the betrayer and dooming his own mates to the same pile of earth where he once found them. In the end, Rox and Blackbeard teach us that true piracy is about the knives you keep closest to your heart. Will Blackbeard's crew be his strength or his own God Valley incident? For now, only Oda seems to know that, but the thing to keep in mind as we see the Davy story unfold is that no one is safe. What do you think? A son's redemption or sins of the father repeated? Comment with your theories and I'll catch you on the next one.